What's up? It's here. Today's the day, or I guess tomorrow's the day, but it is the official premiere live stream, and I figure the strategy for this, the way that I'm going to do this is I'm basically just going to spend the first 25-ish minutes walking through the process, I guess, answer any questions anyone has, before I actually start playing the album, because the runtime of the album is only about 31 and a half minutes. So I don't need a whole hour. I don't need a whole hour to play this, right? So I think the idea is just going to be, if you guys have any questions about, artistically or, process, any of that, I'm happy to answer them. And obviously, we're going to wish Matt a very happy early birthday. And then once we have questions all answered and figured out, it'll probably be, around 11:28-ish, 11:29-ish. We'll actually, go ahead and listen to the album. I'll turn off my lights. I'll step away from the screen, and I'll just play it for you guys. You can just listen, and that'll be it. Carson Collins said, "Holy mid, Matt photo." I don't know if you're talking about the album or Matt's photo, but Matt said, "Are any of the songs about me?" Matt, all of the songs are about you. So I guess I'll just give a rundown of process. So, I started I guess, so here's the crazy thing, is I actually started writing progressions and just starting to try and give some sense of music to myself, spring, or it was really winter of 2020, pre-COVID 2020. And I just started messing around with chord progressions and stuff and different licks that I thought sounded good. And I will say that only one of those actually made it from that era. So anything from January 2020, for the entire year of 2020, actually, we'll say anything that I wrote during the entire year of 2020, there's only a single chord progression that made the final cut to the album. Yeah, but Matt is absolutely right. Step one to the actual writing process was May. It was early May, Mother's Day weekend of 2021. I had been home for Mother's Day. I got broken up with, and then I had a 2-hour drive back to school. I'd get back to school, and that week after Mother's Day is finals week. So I spend that week obviously doing finals, but the rest of that time that I'm not doing finals, because I don't have any other actual schoolwork, is I basically spend that time. I wrote the beginnings of 3 songs, right? And then I basically go the entire summer and don't write anything. And then I get to school again in the fall, and we have our first in-person guitar club meeting after over a year and a half of having virtual guitar club meetings because of COVID, obviously. So we have our first in-person meeting, and then, everything's great. It's a super fun time. And my favorite moment was when they announced that we were doing a battle of the bands. I got so fucking excited. And I had this song that I had been playing with and tooling around with, and I really thought that it would be a good song to play a battle of the bands. So I sat down with my band, and at the time the band that I was with, it's Jake, Ayush, and Andrew. We were called Cygnus, 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 right? And at the time, that was our band name. But we were gonna change it. We just couldn't figure out what to change it to. Battle of the Bands comes, we're preparing for Battle of the Bands and stuff, and I pitched this idea as a song that we could play. Band really likes it, and at the time we were thinking of the name Tachyons for our band name. And you guys can see where this is going. I pitched this song, everyone likes it. I have some help with Jake to finish writing it, because again, I haven't touched these songs really since earlier in the year. It's been 4 or 5 months at this point that I've touched these songs. Jake helps me finish this song. We call it Tachyon Airplane. We perform it at Battle of the Bands. I spend I spend the rest of that year, or I guess, yeah, the rest of the year leading up to Christmas, retooling that song, getting it ready so that I could release it on the new year. It releases on the new year. That song was Tachyon Airplane, obviously. Theo says Holy Mid. That song was Tachyon Airplane. I then proceed to write some other songs like Mushroom Man, which was based on like a painting I saw. I proceed to write Migraine, which is pretty obviously based on the idea of migraines. I really struggled with migraines. That semester where we had like Battle of the Bands, that first Battle of the Bands, that fall semester, I missed like a ton of class because of migraines. Like it really was detrimental to my health. So I wrote music about it because I was like, again, I don't know how to process negative emotions. What are we talking about here? So I write Migraine. And then I kind of go through a slump where for about 3 weeks I like don't have any ideas, and then I am able to, in basically the span of a week and a half, I write Don't Jump the Gun, I write Change the World, and then I finish the other 2 songs that I wrote back in May, which were Blind and Walk. And then, am I missing one? Hollow Body, the actual intro song. That song was actually written relatively early, and the original song Hollow Body was actually what is now Change the World, right? Change the World used to be the original Hollow Body. I didn't like how it fit, so I completely retooled that song, and it became Change the World, and then I rewrote Hollow Body from scratch. A tachyon. Oh, okay. So a tachyon is a particle that always exceeds the speed of light. So tachyons is our band name, and Tachyon Airplane is the name of the song. It's so like falling out of a tachyon airplane. So you guys have heard like the original mix of Tachyon Airplane. It's like, and I'm starting to fall out of this tachyon airplane. Like that's cool as shit. Like a particle always exceeding the speed of light, and it's like an airplane always. I think that's cool. Did I have a migraine when I said my favorite ice cream was lemon flavored? No, I did not. Tachyon Airplane is peak 3 minutes and 24 seconds. How do I come up with lyrics? Most of it is random. Like, if you think about one of my best interactions with a professor at school. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a software engineering major. One of the most genuine interactions I had with a professor ever was when I was visiting colleges, because obviously they want to recruit and they want to get as many, quality candidates as they can into their program. I visited Indiana Tech, Miami of Ohio, Evansville, some schools in Pittsburgh, whatever, because I had family there, so they wanted me to look at schools there. And when I went to Miami, and this is, something that I really liked that, no one else said this, was they were like, one of our favorite things in a, programmer is someone who's also a musician, because they understand like the grind of like honing a skill, and like you have to spend hours upon hours just like practicing monotonous tools that you might not always need, but you have them, right? And I think music's kind of the same way. But the one thing that resonated with me was that, music is a lot like software developing, in the sense that, a lot of times if anyone's ever done any like coding or anything, you'll be stuck. You'll have no idea what to do. You'll go to bed, or like you'll step away to do something else, and then it'll just click. Something will just, like a switch will flip in your head, and you'll be like, oh my God, that's it. And it's the same thing for me with writing music. I would go to bed, or like I would just be chilling watching TV, and I'd be like, oh my God, that's it. And I would write like 3 songs. Like it would be literally that simple. No, I'm gonna be a senior in the fall. I'm gonna be a senior in college in the fall. Vibe of the album. Here's the thing, right? It's kind of all over the place, right? So one thing I want to preface: it's not musically perfect, it's not artistically perfect, and the vibe is kind of all over the place. Genre, we're looking at like alternative blues rock, right? That's kind of where we're at. That's kind of where we're at right now. But yes, music is definitely a lot like software engineering. It's technical, it's tricky, but it's also creative, and you have to have creative solutions, and sometimes it makes no sense at all, and sometimes it works, right? Sometimes it just works. And that's the most satisfying part, is when it just the switch is always so satisfying. You're right. Like when the stuff that doesn't make sense works, like you feel like a god. And when you you spend a ton of time like trying to retool something, and then it finally hits just the way you want it to. Chef's kiss. What's the song you are most proud of? Okay, my favorite. So here's the thing, my producer's favorite song. So that'll get into most of the story. But my producer's favorite songs on the album are songs. I always forget. I'm looking at it like it's inverted for me, but his favorite songs on the album are. I shouldn't even point. They're songs 2 through 4. Walk, Don't Jump the Gun, and Snow Day. Right. When I set that order for the track list, he was like, you really put the 3 best songs back to back to back like that. I like Walk a lot. Walk was originally supposed to be 2 songs. They were split up. I actually have a TikTok of like one of like the songs was supposed to just be like, part of that was just supposed to be that, and then Walk would be the other part. And then I was like, it was like Walk interlude and then Walk. But then I was like, I'm just gonna make them one song because they sounded too different, or they sounded too much like they belonged together for me to keep them as 2 separate songs. So I was like, I'm just gonna make them one song. Like I was like, to switch between them did not sound right to me. I just made them one song. I like Walk a lot. Snow Day's a good song. Snow Day's a really good song, but it doesn't. Snow Day was a song that I wrote literally, like on my birthday. There was literally 2 snow days. So my birthday fell on a Thursday. We had a blizzard, and we had Thursday and Friday off. So I literally just wrote a song, just like based on like how just like vibes, just like pure vibes. And it's like such a meaningless song, but to me, like I needed a song like that. I don't know why. I just felt like I had to write a song like that. So this is very like if you played it at like a party. I feel like this is like if I had a party song, it'd be Snow Day. Migraine might be my favorite song. Although like that's the only reason that one's my favorite is because that's the one that still is like relevant, I guess. Like the ones that like if I wrote a song about a girl, like that's just not relevant anymore. That was like, this song, right? Like we're talking about lyrics that I wrote 14 months ago. Like, sorry, like it's just like kind of irrelevant at this point. But like migraines, I still experience migraines. They're not I've done a better job of managing them because a lot of it's just like how I manage like my health, what I eat, what I drink, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think migraine's probably the one that I think hits closest home. Tachyon Airplanes, obviously, one I like about. Where can we? It'll be out at midnight on all streaming platforms. Matt overwhelmed with NBA news for a good 4 hours, and then goes on a 3-day slump with nothing. This is a good mic. This is the Shure SM7B, I believe. Because like there's that one Shure mic that everyone loves, and it's like $400. This is like a step down from that one. It's still a good mic. I love it. This is what I tracked all my vocals on. Was this mic, and then I'm using like the Focusrite, just like one eye, like the 2 eye, I don't whatever like the cheapest Focusrite was, like the Scarlett. I just got the cheapest one. Yeah. Someone said, "What is Blue Wire?" Hold on. Where? Can you answer my question about Blue Wire? I don't know. I can't scroll up, so I can't see what your question about Blue Wire was. But someone said, "What is Blue Wire exactly?" Blue Wire is just our production company for Stay Hot. They just run all the stuff behind the scenes, production, editing, sponsorships. So, there's sometimes you guys will ask us to do certain stuff, and a lot of it's out of our control. Just corporate mumbo jumbo, whatever. Doing covers of songs live would be super cool. I think that copyright might be an issue with that, but no, I totally agree. But it's also like the setup for that, like capturing audio from that many sources would be a little bit tricky. I've thought about doing YouTube videos of just that on like a different YouTube channel. Break my heart so I can truly listen to Migraine. Nah, if you ever want to write music though, just get your heart broken, and it is the best way. Go like one thing like I've struggled like especially towards the end of writing was like I could not figure out like I couldn't write anymore. I'm like I'm too happy to write music now. Like it was weird. Like I can't write. It was like I couldn't write happy music. I don't know how to do it. Biggest influence in songwriting and guitar. I actually have a list of that. I did post it on Instagram, and I posted a shorter list of it on Twitter, but I'll pull that up for you guys. Album inspirations. So guitar inspirations, number one was Gary Moore. That was mostly for tonality. So like, if you guys like go to my Instagram and you listen to the like preview that I put on my Instagram of Snow Day, that guitar tone was made. I wanted to be very similar to Gary Moore. Like that was someone that I was really gearing towards, where it's like this bright, kind of distorted, but also kind of clean. It's really, I don't know what it is, but I don't know exactly how to describe it. But Gary Moore has this killer guitar tone, and it's my favorite sound in the whole world. BB King's another one. BB King's just like, and really BB King and Gary Moore both do this, where it's like they have these like simple licks that just kind of speak, and it's just so hard to. I think that's more difficult than like doing something really technically proficient. Like that's the stuff that blows up online. Is like the pick sweeping and all that jazz. I can't do that, so maybe I'm also just like speaking about what I can do. But like I just think that having like just a guitar that can speak to somebody, I think is truly invaluable. Like you just don't see that anymore. Carlos Santana is another guy like that. But Carlos Santana is also a fantastic. I think Carlos Santana is like an incredible songwriter. Like guys like Gary Moore and BB King. They just those blues guys. They all kind of cover off of each other, and they have a few songs that they wrote themselves. Like one of my favorite songs of all time is "Parisian Walkways" by Gary Moore. But like Carlos Santana writes some of the most amazing music. I mean, it's truly remarkable, and his creativity is kind of off the charts. And I think that's kind of underrated. Number 4 is kind of an underrated up-and-coming artist. His name is Jiraiya. He dropped an album last year called A Beginner's Guide to Faking Your Death. Highly recommend it. It was my favorite album of last year. That dude makes music that is also very all over the place. Every single song. It's literally a mix of like, alternative, blues, house, like rock. Like it's so crazy how all over the place he is, and he has this really raw, like incredible voice. So I highly recommend listening to Jiraiya. He's going on a tour, I think, in the fall. So if you get an opportunity to see him, like I would also do that as well. Support him wherever you can. Another small band that I would recommend supporting is the Happy Fits. They're another inspiration. They write really, really good music, and they're another band that's just like super creative. One of the songs I covered at the most recent Battle of the Bands was "Heart of a Dancer" by the Happy Fits. I love that song to death, and they recently released an album. They're releasing another one coming up, and they just released a single called "Do Your Worst," and that song's amazing. But the lead singer is a cello player, and then their like backup guy is like a lead guitarist. So it's not like guitar, bass, singer, drummer, or like keyboardist. It is cello player that is also the lead singer, guitar player that is also like the backup singer, and then a drummer. It is the most unique group, and yet it works so well. Glass Beach, yes. Jiraiya has a song with Glass Beach called Jiraiya Dies and Goes to Hell. That song is amazing. I love that song. Jiraiya is an amazing artist. He recently did a song with Spotify. My next up is a band that broke up last year called Bear Ghost, or like a year and a half, 2 years ago. Bear Ghost, they have some of the most insane production, and the way they utilize something that I took from them was like their vocal mixing, how they like have so many layers to their vocals in like production. and it doesn't come out. You don't always see it in live, right? But just in terms of like production, I stole a lot of like the way I wanted my album to flow. Maybe flow's not the word. The way I wanted it produced was very similar to the way Bear Ghost produces their stuff. Go listen to like She-Rex or Star Killer. Just like listen to the way they harmonize their vocals. It is nuts. Or Sirens. Like the way they harmonize their vocals is next level. I've never heard like anything like it. Number 7 is Muse. Muse is like the most popular alt rock band of all time, but they also like lean into this like pop, this kind of poppy rock. It's weird, right? Because they step out into pop sometimes, and I don't like that stuff. But the stuff that they make, like Knights of Sidonia and I'm trying to think of Supremacy. Like I think Matt Bellamy is a fantastic singer, and I think he's a fantastic guitar player. And I'm going to give you like the next 3 people, actually the next 4 people are where I got like vocal inspiration from. And guys, people that I try to mimic a little bit vocally. Number 1 is Matt Bellamy from Muse. Number 2 is Billie Eilish. Number 3 is Brittany Howard. And number 4 is Elton John. I don't sound nearly as good as any of those people. I won't even like try to act like I do. But they're all phenomenal. Billie Eilish, in my opinion, like maybe the greatest singer of all time. Like she has the most beautiful voice I've ever heard in my life. Brittany Howard, an amazing singer, impeccable range. She can like, I don't know what she's on. Theo's dad actually put me onto Brittany Howard. And from that point, I started like taking a lot of like the way she plays guitar, and like some of her rhythm tones I think are incredible. So I started taking a lot of that stuff. And then Elton John, in my opinion, is the second greatest artist of all time behind like Kanye West. Also, I know I just like blew into the mic really heavy, so I apologize for that. But those are my artist inspirations, 1 through 10. Gary Moore, B.B. King, Carlos Santana, Jiraiya, The Happy Fits, Bear Ghost, Muse, Billie Eilish, Brittany Howard, and Elton John. Okay. We're about 6 minutes out from starting actual music, and at that point again I will turn off all the lights, and I'll probably just go like sit on my bed and let you guys listen to the album with no distractions at all. And one I don't even know, man. Will there be a Matt feature? There will not. Yeah, I mean at this point I don't have a whole lot else to say. I guess I'll talk about Michael at this point. Michael is my producer, and when the way that happened was, so I finished the album, and I made a TikTok about it on my spam that like the album was done, but like I was not looking at like production as well as I should have. So I asked Michael to play bass and drums, right? I had ideas for like what I wanted bass lines and drums to sound like in terms of like just order and like musically what I wanted it to be like. But I don't know how to play drums. I don't know how to play bass. And GarageBand offers like bass or drums, drum kits and like drum loops, but they're really not that good. And I also didn't know how to mix drums in GarageBand yet. So like I probably could have tooled around and gotten like a good drum sound and like done a lot with the drum AI and stuff, because I do think it's actually pretty good. But like at that point I wasn't good at mixing the drums, so it sounded really flat. Michael fixed that. He also fixed the bass. And when he when he got the tracks, he was like, listen, man, just let me reproduce it. He was like, I'll give you 2 options. You can either release it as is, or you can let me reproduce the whole thing. And I paid him to do it. I paid him to reproduce the whole album. I follow him on Instagram. If you go to my Instagram, and I tagged him in the post, Michael Easley. He just started his own record label. So I mean, he's really talented. He's been in a metal band for a couple of years now. He's a drummer, bass player. He can scream sing, which is incredible to me that he has that kind of power to do that. So he's a really talented, artist, producer, can play guitar. He's multifaceted. So, yeah, I was really excited to hear what he was capable of. He sent me back the first mix of Tachyon Airplane. I fell in love with it. And then we sat down and finished it June 8th, June 9th, 2 days. I think it was June 8th and June 9th, or maybe it was the 6th and 7th, something like that. It was like 2 days in June. We sat down, went through every single song, fine-tuned. They actually re-recorded I re-recorded all the chorus parts of Migraine and the outro of like my vocals because I didn't like how it sounded. So I re-recorded that. And yeah, we fine-tuned everything. I liked how it sounded. I redid the order. We listened to it. Everything sounded smooth. And here we are. July 3rd at 11:25 p.m. Eastern Time. The album will be public in 35 minutes, and in about 3 minutes we're going to start the actual playing so you guys can get a listen before everyone else. Super excited. I'm super excited for this. You have no idea. It's surreal at this point. You know, I've been working on this for 14 months, but I've been wanting to do this for even longer, right? So, yeah. I have not listened to Rise Against, I'm sorry. But I will, if you guys like DM me, like artists you want me to listen to, like one thing that I really want, Michael's in here. Michael. Everyone, go follow Michael. Go subscribe to Michael. That man is built different. He is. So much of what this album is thanks to him. Like, he's owed so much credit. He really is. I've teased the idea of doing live shows, like around like the tri-state area near Cincinnati, Indiana, Kentucky, that kind of stuff. Blaiden trying to avoid NBA comments. This isn't an NBA live stream. It's the Hollow Body live stream. All right, so it's 11:27. Yeah, is your little sister better than you at cooking HelloFresh? She is. She's built different, man. She's great. She's also faster than me too. What type of album is it? We're looking at, I answered this a little bit earlier. It's just alternative blues rock is what I would classify it as. We'll see how well it's received before I actually decide to travel and perform it. If it's really well received, like people that I've played it for in the past, you know, and shown snippets to, they've liked it. But you know, they're my friends. They're what are they gonna? I don't like. Showing your drunk friends your music, like, come on. They're going to tell you it's good. I feel like they're going to tell you it's good. But we're going to start listening to the album. Thank you all for tuning in, and I present to you Hollow Body.
They say I've got a God complex, but what they don't understand is that there's not all a complex about who I am. They can call me crazy, and that might be the case, but I'd hate to be sane so I can separate myself from you. The story of my life, I am a hollow body. take you to see it sometime soon. Maybe one day we'll share it too. I put a castle in the stars, so big you'll see it from Mars. One of these days I'll take you far away from it. One of these days I'll take you far away from here. One of these days I'll take you far away from here. One of these days I'll take you far away from I travel the world to be with you, and I may die if I try, but you're worth it. And I spend a lifetime just to find you in my arms, but you're worth it to me. Yamming on the moon, used to wish you'd come to see it soon. Gave you my all, but it never really mattered. And though I put this castle in the stars, I'll never let you get as close as Mars. Now that you've thrown away all that we've had. And I died trying, at least inside. And I spent my whole life trying to find you here in my arms, and you were worth it to me. gave up trying to stop you. Lord knows I've tried. Now I give up trying to fight you. I think I'd rather die. But then I hear the sounds and I feel the pound. Why do come again with music way too bright, screams way too loud? I want this hell to end in my head. In my head, I want this hell to end. In my head. Afternoons are peaceful most of the time. If you give me some space, baby, I'll give you my mind. I gave up trying to stop you. Lord knows I've tried. Now I give up trying to fight you. I think I'd rather die. But then I hear the sounds and I feel the pound. Why do come again with music way too bright, screams way too loud? I want this hell to end in my head. In my head, I want this hell to end. In my head. At night there's a relief. I think I had one. Eluded you another day. I gave up trying to stop you. Lord knows I've tried. Now I give up trying to fight you. I think I'd rather die. But then I hear the sounds and I feel the pound. Why'd you come again with music way too bright, screams way too loud? I want this hell to end in my head. In my head, I want this hell to end in my head. As a child I heard the stories of what was on the other side. If you wander through the forest, he'll give the answers you desire. I walk alone into the forest, so unsure of what is to see. But creature staring back at me. And he said, why have you come here? What do you see? I look back at the mushroom man. He sits all alone on the green grass, keeping company the purple tree. I stand but cannot speak my piece. So I say that I have You're all I need. You're all I need. Give me one chance. I'll make you see. Give me your best, that is all I can ask for. If you've lost the reasons to say, then there's the door. Now that I found the words that I want to be with you. Seems that you don't need me, seems that you'll leave in the end. And I gave you my word, that I gave you my all, that you were my world till the end. I'm starting to fall out of this tachyon airplane, and I question if you are my friend. Without you, so you'll take off on your plane, fly far away, and I'll take off on my plane, fly far from you. I gave you my all, that you were my world to the end. And I'm starting to fall out of this tachyon airplane, and I question if you are my friend.
Oh, man. Happy birthday, Matt. First things first. Happy birthday. Second of all, the album's out. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Oh my god. I can't believe this is like real, man. I really can't. So if you're, able to, go listen to Hollow Body. Oh my god. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm glad you all liked it. I've been reading your comments the whole time. And I will catch you all on the flippity flop, man. I appreciate it. Happy birthday, Matt.